Hey, it's Scott Weiss with Lessons on Leaving, your complete guide to funerals. Here again to talk to you about another subject concerning funerals and death care industry. This is kind of unique. I haven't talked about this subject before, but I want to share with you what to do if you have a complaint against a funeral home, a cemetery, or a crematory. If you have a legitimate complaint, what are your options? So let's talk about this. We have a lot of good funeral homes out there. We have a lot of good people. We have a lot of good people working in crematories and cemeteries as well. But just like any other occupation, professional, there's going to be people that are not ethical. Perhaps there's going to be some that are just unprofessional. So you do have options as a consumer in the United States of America, of course. If you have a problem with your funeral home, if you have something that has happened that is unethical or unprofessional, something legitimate, we're not talking about things didn't go right, my grandmother's hair wasn't done just right, it didn't look like it did in the pictures, that's going to be pretty consistent. You're not always going to get the view that you want if you do an embalming. So, but if you have something that is legitimate, an issue of character or ethics or unprofessionalism or suspicions of theft, or if they're disregarding, if they're not following through with promises that they made, there are steps that you can take. There are actually funeral boards set up in all 50 states except 2. There's not one in Hawaii or Colorado. And so these funeral boards in your states would be listed probably under something like a consumer protection agency. You can go to, surely you can Google and look up Funeral Consumers Alliance, which is the FCA. It's a national organization, and they'll probably give you information about what you can do in your specific state if you have a legitimate complaint against a funeral home, cemetery, etc. If you have something that violates the Federal Trade Commission laws, which were established in 1984, the Federal Trade Commission is over the entire United States funeral industry. You can also file a complaint with them, and I want to give you some information on how to do that. So if you have a legitimate complaint, which, for example, by law, a funeral home has to give you a price list before the contract is drawn up. The funeral home has to provide you with a price list of the caskets before you're charged with the caskets. These things have to be, by law, presented to you. No funeral home can deny you bringing a casket from an outside source. If you want to buy it online, if you want to buy it from a local casket maker, a funeral home cannot deny you the privilege of bringing that casket in. Let's say they want to charge you a fee for bringing a casket in that you purchased locally. That's against the law. These are the things that you could notify the Federal Trade Commission about. And the way to do that is by phone. You can call the Consumer Response Center of the Federal Trade Commission, and that number is 877-FTC-HELP, or it's 877-382-4357. Also, what you can do is you can go online to www.ftc.gov, and there's an online complaint form. Now again, these are things that might occur that might violate the laws that were established in 1984. They might not cover some other issues that you might want to complain to a state board about. If you want to do this by mail, you can actually mail a letter to the Consumers Response Center, Federal Trade Commission, 600 Pennsylvania Avenue, NW for Northwest, Washington, D.C., 20580. The reason I'm going over that so fast is I'm going to have this information written here below my blog if you just scroll down on my website. If you're on Facebook or somewhere else seeing this and you don't see my blog, go over to my website, lessonsonleaving.com or scottveiss.com. Look at the video. You'll see this information there below the video blog. Now this is just day one, part one of filing a complaint. I'm going to talk to you further next time we get together about things that would actually require you to file a complaint, things that are legitimate, what you might expect from that complaint, and reasons people don't file a complaint. So we're going to help make sure the funeral industry stays professional and stays ethical and there are options that we have to make sure these things are done. So again, this is Scott Weiss with Lessons on Leaving, your complete guide to funerals. Be sure and go, if you like my page on Facebook, be sure to subscribe, please, to my newsletter here at lessonsonleaving.com, and I will send you a free 11-page funeral planning guide. If you have any questions whatsoever about funerals, about death care industry, about death, please ask me those questions. I do promise to get back to you within 24 hours. So have a great day. We'll see you next time.